they are cornered. And there, again, is the Malphite ban, followed by Fizz and Sivir.
I can understand that it undoes your lane presence as a carry top laner, but Malphite is almost becoming a ludicrous ban right now in the fact that nobody else in the world is banning out Malphite, and yet Morsu still needs the team to ban that out. The Maokai is still available unless they first pick it away, which is not a Morsu champion.
So many times the strategy has revolved around Morsu doing well, and in the last game he just drew even with the Maokai. There's the fresh ban once again at Hybrid as the first pick by Copenhagen Wars with the Gragas.
Yeah, the Gragas is locked in. Origen could just do the same as game one, go Rek'Sai Maokai here, and play exactly the same composition as they did in game number one. The Sivir wouldn't be available, so they would have to find themselves a new AD carry, but to be honest, SOAS and Amazing have shown their prowess on those two champions already in this game, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, fast lock-ins with the Maokai and the Rek'Sai once again. Remember that LeBlanc is still open for Pekka if he wants it. CosQ may be able to take it away here if he wants to do that, but again, I mean, like, SOAS has been a huge issue every game. So has the LeBlanc. Oh, Copenhagen Wars really just feeling that it's just not their champion select, it's just the early game and how it goes. Every single game so far, they've been behind at 10 minutes by 3,000 gold and 7k in the last game at 20 minutes. They just fell so far behind in the early game, Stress.
Yeah, and a lot of it has been the game plan from Origen, putting Kyrie behind. Kyrie has seemed very uncomfortable, as the analysts were talking about, with what he should be doing in the beginning of the game, which isn't the same Kyrie that we've seen. It's a lot to do with the amount of pressure that Origen are putting in, and here comes something a little bit different.
There's the cow coming into the mix. We'll see which lane that goes into. You typically would feel it would be Hybrid picking that one up. And I haven't seen that one before. The Corki will go alongside it, so Visibility sitting on that champion that he feels so confident on. There's the Urgot lock-in. We'll be seeing what lane that will go into. We've been seeing that so much recently, Stress. Saw Keen play it in the mid lane. We're seeing Pinoy play it in the bot lane. But there's the Nautilus coming in from Origen. I wonder what lane that could be in.
Yeah, two picks that have come up time and time again in the past few weeks. Nautilus likely to be down in that support role. Urgot being regarded as some AD carries as one of the absolute top tier AD carries on the current patch. We are playing on 5.6 currently, guys. So those of you that had 5.7 as it rolled out this morning, this is still 5.6. So expect a lot of tanky champions.
Yeah, we'll see what the last couple of picks are from the Wolves. I was talking to them earlier. Hello! Okay. It's going to be the Yasuo coming into the mid lane, plus the Orianna. May not be the mid lane, could be the top lane.
Looks like Yasuo.
Someone call in JWoww.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody get JWoww, because this is exactly what JWoww used to do. Now the top laner for MYM. He just would play these carry champions again and again in that top lane. Yasuo top is not something we've seen all that much, but it's something very different here. And what will Origen put in that mid lane against the Orianna? Normally Orianna just draws everything to a skill matchup. The Athene's changes have helped Orianna a little bit here as well, so Ori's a very safe pick for CosQ.
Yeah, and no matter really what happens in that mid lane, it will take a lot to bring the Orianna down with the Command Protect. Of course, jumping on top of an Orianna is typically not recommended. Shockwave will follow with the W as well, so not really what Origen want in the mid lane. Just depends what package chooses to go for. The LeBlanc is open, Zed is also open. So many different carry champions for the mid laner from Origen, and it looks like it will be the Zed as that is locked in. So both of the team compositions are now fully fleshed out. We're seeing something a little bit different from the Wolves.
Something very different to what they've played before. This is the first time Hybrid will be playing on Alistar, but Alistar's going to give Morsu great knockup potential to combo the ultimate with the Yasuo here. The same with the Shockwave. This is one heck of a wombo combo that Copenhagen Wolves Academy are looking to run. Origen on the other side of things, the Rek'Sai for the early jungle as well is just going to be difficult perhaps for Kyrie to deal with. Urgot, Nautilus, Rek'Sai, Maokai, there's a lot of tank there, and now Xpeke can just get into the fight and maybe blow Visibility up straight away. So there's a lot on both sides that we're going to have to keep track of.
Well, we'll see if Hybrid can channel his inner Aphromu and go huge on the cow. We've seen Orianna with it as well, with the cow ball combination, with the cow shockwave into the Yasuo. It could be amazing. But you've also mentioned how tanky Origen are. Pretty much everyone on their team is a tank. Yep. So you also have the damage mitigation from the ultimate as well from Maokai. If they get ahead, they're never going to die no matter how well you combo the enemy team.
And this is a game of if one team gets ahead, the other is fairly certain to kind of just fall behind. You look at a Yasuo top, that's very snowbally.
Well, there's still time to change your vote, so tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag OGWin or CWA win, and let us know if you think this is where the Wolves turn it around, or if Origen will walk away with the Challengers Series Championship. Let's get into this one, Stress. This is do or die for Copenhagen Wolves. They do not have long to go. This will be difficult.
It's certainly an uphill climb here for Copenhagen Wolves. It's not over yet. They still have this opportunity. A win here puts them back on the track. A loss here would put them in the promotion tournament. So even if they do go out here, they still will face either Rocket or Giants, but that is not the result they would be wanting from this finals.
No, it is not. But they do have the tools in their toolbox in this game. They do have all the ways of getting Morsu into his last breath and slicing through the competition, increasing his armor penetration. Niels here will be seeing out the invade from Copenhagen Wolves Academy. Will be Morsu actually tanking up the Acid Hunter, so will not be taking any lasting damage. And they will continue the chase into the jungle. It means that the response from Origen will be heading into the opposing jungle and getting their vision down. Kind of the yin-yang approach, where you just kind of go around the map and place down your wards. Coining that term. Amazing now coming into the top side of the map. There is the ward to see out the lane swap. And Niels not quite in time to clear out that ward as it goes down. So both of the teams open up this game with the same knowledge that they've had in every single game. So far, that hasn't really helped the Copenhagen Wolves Academy, but time will tell if that's going to be the same case 3 games in a row.
These are 2 very tanky supports here in this game. I mean, Alistair and Nautilus, you don't really find too much more in the way of tank than the 2 of them. So I'm interested to see whether we end up with standard lanes and whether the trading will be high here, because with this much crowd control in the bottom lane, one bad trade could easily turn the lane against you, especially with Urgot, who has a fair amount of damage if you do land his abilities. Acid Hunter and the Corrosive Charge actually cost 90 mana of his about 350 in the early levels, so it does cost you a lot to harass with Urgot early on, but if you do get it, you certainly can make yourself a nuisance. Corki, again, always about landing those phosphorus bombs.
Yeah, most likely the Corrosive Charge will come after a dredge line from Miffy. That way you know you're never going to miss, since they're in place by the staggering blow from the passive as well. So that will be making it fairly easy and making sure that he doesn't waste any of his mana unnecessarily. In the top lane, both the top lanes go up there. Did take a camp initially, so they're both going to be level 2. And this Yasuo now coming into the top lane, not seen this for a while. Yeah,
finds himself in the 1v1, which is what Taficio was talking about during the analyst desk, which was get Morsu in the 1v1 matchup and get him some help here. But look at the bottom lane, there's already a fair amount of trading going on.
Well, there's the combo, there's the staggering blow onto Facility. That's what we talked about. Once he gets pinned down, he's going to be hit up by the Acid Hunters. Hybrid drops low from the Acid Hunter as well. The follow-up from Niels, once he gets in range, very painful.
That's insane amounts of damage early on from this Urgot. And again, if you do manage to land that combo, you're trading your mana for pretty much all of the enemy's health. So this early on, it's not a problem for Niels to just throw those Acid Hunters out as much as he possibly can, as long as they're hitting. Copenhagen Wolves in this situation do have slightly more sustain when it comes to Alistair having a heal. That costs a fair amount of mana and doesn't exactly heal the most in the early onset of the game either. So it's all about how the Wolves balance these bottom lane engages.
At least they do have a little sustain. In the top lane though, Amazing is sitting, lying in wait. See if he can get this gank onto Morsu. The wave is pushing towards him though, so we'll be taking a trip back to base, so as it's not going to be getting onto that Yasuo anytime soon. 22 CS to 16, but there is a large juicy mini wave heading in towards the Yasuo. And Morsu will be quite happy to take this one underneath the turret.
Kyrie hasn't been forced off his early game just yet, but he backed earlier and is, just because of that, is behind in CS. But he's only had five monsters out of the jungle right now. Need to see Kyrie look to try and power farm up to that level 6 point at which he can just appear top lane. Ultimate Maokai allows the chain from the ultimate from Yasuo here, but Kyrie's actually going to go aggressive this time. He has dodged the river ward if he goes up through the lane, but looks like SOAS knows it's coming for now.
I mean, SOAS is never going to be low in this lane because as much as Morsu is dashing around, there's just more spellcasts for his Sap Magic. There's the follow through with the Q. Kyrie will be used as a jumping post for SOAS. He will just get charged after, though, by the E. From both players, in fact.
Ooh,
not quite enough damage.
Mid.
Miffy roams into the mid lane. There's the dredge line. There's the follow-up as well from the passive. Colcu drops low. Is it enough damage? Peke jumps into the turret. There's the first blood. Miffy is tanky enough to tank all the tower shots.
Miffy roams mid, but it's amazing up top.
Oh, Kyrie is completely caught out. He'll flash away, and they burn the flash, and they pick up the kill. This is just a rinse and repeat of game 1 and 2.
Why did Kyrie stay top lane? He keeps making these decisions that just seem very greedy. They wanted to get the wave to bounce and potentially look to kill SOAS and a turret, but it's an easy play to read. With Miffy roaming from bottom lane mid, Amazing is only going to be in the top side of the map. You don't really need him on that mid lane gank either once the jungler has shown in the top lane. So Amazing is very likely counter ganking there, and Kyrie gets caught out again in the early game.
He needs to stop doing that if he wants to win this game, Stress. And there's only one more game in which he can make that change. But it's very easy to be like, stop getting caught, stop dying. But that's not really how the game goes.
The thing is, Amazing has had more impact on this game than Kyrie and has still been farming. 18 on the CS for Amazing right now. Kyrie only just getting himself back to farming off his second buff. And like, Kyrie is just struggling to do anything in this series at all, and it's not the same player that we saw through the group stage.
Oh, Cosq. He just gets smited. There's the flash on the knockup. Peke with the ultimate as well, just waiting for him to pop. Pop goes the Cosq. Bot lane, though, they will follow up onto Niels. He is called out for the first kill onto Copenhagen Wolves.
This time, they managed to turn the bottom side in their favor with a kill on Niels. Niels, before that kill, actually had a KDA for this series alone from games 1 and 2 of 33. He was 16, 1, and 17 overall. That will now put his second death on the board. But I don't think he'll be too unhappy about that, because Origen did get Peke rolling. Peke now at 2-0. That's very difficult to stop a Zed from them. Morsu just can't deal the damage onto SOAS yet.
Nope. Q all you like, I'll just keep healing.
And Morsu hasn't gone back yet either, but this is that bottom lane gaggle flash from Hybrid was enough to knock Niels up, but Miffy's kind of just running around. I'm expecting an auto maybe on Kyrie just to hold him in place. Didn't even need it. Miffy a little bit helpless in that situation, but nothing he could do to try and save Niels' life.
Yeah, sad Northless in the bottom lane. He'll be farming alone for now. Finally, Niels comes back into the fight. SOAS teleports into the bot lane behind them. He has his ult, he has his W, he has everything to lock down Hybrid. Hybrid does not have his Unbreakable Will yet, so that's an easy beefsteak for the team of Origen. Visibility heads back to his turret, and this will be translated into a dragon.
Oh man, SOAS' teleports for the most part this series have been on point. They've been setting up plays for Origen. SOAS looks comfortable once again in this top lane role. And we looked a little bit at the top lane as carry against utility. Utility is winning out pretty much 3 for 3 in all of these games, because Origen as a team are far stronger right now than the Wolves can deal with. And we have a pause.
We do. And when we're on stage like this, the teams can't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Unlike online, where it's just like no one can stop them.
That's actually a really interesting point, because that's not something that you really have that affects you when you're playing Challenger Series. Challenger Series, the group stage, and the semifinals are played from home. So
and even
don't,
third place.
Yeah, exactly, and the third place game. So you don't have that kind of limitation. Nobody's there being like, hey guys, stop talking.
Standing behind them. Yeah.
So I wonder how that'll affect specifically the players from the Copenhagen Wolves Academy, because this is a brand new situation for them. Nobody's ever been like, don't talk.
Yeah.
No talking here in this game.
But meanwhile, Origen, pretty much all of these players, bar Niels, has been on the big stage and kind of knows the drill by now, so they will not be taken off guard. And again, this is another one of those scenarios in which the experience will shine through. We're talking about that, but I mean, literally what's happening is nothing is happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be seeing what the teams will do here. In terms of the item builds, not a whole lot has happened. Some people have gone back to base. We do know that Peke has picked up the Brutalizer, and you saw a lot of damage go into the middle lane, so...
Yeah, and we were talking about the middle lane matchup when we came into this. It was our featured matchup. It just has been a skill matchup that Peke has won time and time again, quite frankly. And that's a little bit unfortunate for the Wolves.
Well, we're going to get back into this game very shortly. Here we go. It's just a small technical difficulty. Nothing that's going to hold us back for certain. There goes the Dragon for Origen, picking up this early advantage. In the top lane, though, they still bully down SOAS. In the mid lane, though, this is the one-on-one. Can it be the one-on-one kill, though? That's not going to kill him. He didn't have the little shuriken revolving around his head.
Yeah, it gets exhausted. So CosQ, again running Exhaust, this time saves his life, but Exhaust is on a longer cooldown. Here comes Amazing!
Is it the plane? No, it's Rek'Sai. He gets into the top lane looking for this kill onto Kairi. Lands the Prey Seeker. Is that enough damage by SOAS, though? He's pretty out of mana. Amazing doesn't have his flash either, so it's going to take a lot. But there's another Prey Seeker. Can he make it 3 in a row? It doesn't need to be, because SOAS comes out with the last Q for the kill.
Kairi is just not getting himself into these games, and Copenhagen Wolves just did not respect the ultimate out of Amazing. Amazing was due to be 6 at this point in the game. You have to understand that he will come towards a fight, and if SOAS is dealing with 2 people just about fine on his own, expect him to appear.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't have too much to add on that one, Stress. Meanwhile, Miffy will be taking away this ward in the river. Says hi to the crab on his way down to his lane, back with his lane partner of Niels, sitting on this Urgot this time around. A little bit different from what we've seen, but he's played so many different champions in the draft so far. Why not, really? He's slightly behind in this lane, around 10 CS, but is evened up on those kills. It was pretty much the only lane that's kind of struggling just a little in the bot lane, whereas mid lane, Xpeke is just well over CosQ in terms of his strength. Top lane, yes, he's behind in farm, but he's pretty much just playing the containment game. As long as they can just make sure that Morsu doesn't get out of control, that's all he needs to do. Peke with the shurikens coming through. There's the ultimate as well, plus the ignite. It should be enough damage. There's a shockwave pulling him into the tower. Does not even need the death mark pop, and he bites the dust.
Peke is just using his ultimate on cooldown. Oh, Morsu is in a lot of trouble top lane.
Oh, rest in peace, my friend. He will be going back underneath the turret, right into the jaws of the Queen of the Xerxai. Goodbye, Morsu.
And this game is just completely out of control.
Wow, Hybrid though with a combo onto the bot lane. He takes down the Urgot, and now Miffy is all alone. How much more CC can Hybrid offer? He's waiting for his cooldowns, and Facility has to take a trip back. Xpeke is roaming down, but doesn't have his ultimate. He does have Flash. He'll be meeting Kirei in his jungle on the way back to mid lane. However, Origen do manage to take the top turret, as they did manage to kill its Gatekeeper, who was Morsu.
Miffy still maybe in trouble here. Ooh, nice combo out of Hybrid. One on the minion knocks up Miffy, but just not enough damage to deal with Miffy right now. Hybrid showing his prowess, but honestly, the problem that Copenhagen Wolves Academy have had is that they've been doing these solo plays or split pushing or all of these little things that go into a game of League of Legends, but haven't been the cohesive team that we've seen. This is a complete role reversal. Origen have played well as a team, and Copenhagen Wolves Academy haven't.
In the bot lane, they did lose the game of battleships, didn't manage to get the right push, but it is Amazing into the mid lane, burrowing in for the kill, does get the knock up. There's the rampage now for Xpeke. Bot lane will be pulling the trigger, but Hybrid has no ultimate. There's the final lock on with the Acid Hunter, he takes him out. Kairi also with a corrosive charge on top of him is taking a fair beating, fair punishment from Niels with the constant bombardment. Mid lane also goes down. This is just complete team collapse from the Wolves so far.
Peke has been on point this game, and CosQ hasn't been able to do anything. Morsu in a carry top laner now. It just cannot even deal with SOAS. Morsu has the lead in both CS and level advantage. Oh, and SOAS even dodges the Q to dodge the damage.
Yeah, we'll see if he can actually survive this fight. I mean, he has no turret to really run to. I think Amazing's just going to make sure that he dies. He will be flashing away, but he finds himself a sapling. That pre-setup. He comes in with a Twisted Advance as well. There's the Arcane Smash. Well, SOAS
says, I don't care what name you've made for yourself in Challenger as being one of the kings of the top lane. I am a European champion, and I will win this top lane matchup.
Man, that sapling setup was big play right there. Fantastic. Kairi now in his jungle is just trying to get everything he can do, just taking away all of the little Krugs. But they have a long way to go. And they had a long way to go at the start of this game, and now they're so far behind. 6k advantage for Origen, only 12 minutes into the game. Xpeke now aggressing onto CosQ.
I've seen this before.
This time Hybrid. This is not a good sight. Xpeke just needs one more shuriken. And he didn't even full combo him either. That is a lot of damage from Peke. Yeah. And as soon as it gets to the roaming phase, Facility will be feeling the pain as well.
every single time, though. Coscu held onto his exhaust. If there's one silver lining to take from that, he didn't die and held exhaust.
Good
Worth for now. All jokes aside, though, Peke 4-0 has himself a Tiamat. Normally, you'd see his Zed go Blade of the Ruined King plus the Brutalizer, but doesn't need it in this game because the Tiamat is just adding to his damage right now. Visibility is respecting Peke. Hybrid.
Maybe rest in peace, not quite. There's the teleport though from Soaz as well. Morsu is in the fight already, but he's 1-on-3. There's no team to assist him, and he gets munched by Amazing. Kyrie now trying to head back to his team, but Hybrid is still low. There's a knock up onto Miffy. He will be the first casualty for Origin, but they've already slain 2 members from the Wolves. Brayseeker comes through. It lands onto the backside of the cow. No rump stake today.
None today, but the tower in favor of Origin, and I mean, yes, you got the knock-up onto Niels, but Niels is Urgot. As soon as that animation finishes from the ultimate and Niels is still mostly full health, the position reverser just comes out. You get damage reduction from everything. Yasuo's stuck in the middle of 3 people from Origin, and that's the end of Yasuo's tale.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in Champion Select, but we'll reiterate now. Basically, when Origin get to the point where their tanks are strong enough to resist the burst and the wombo from Wolves, the game is pretty much done.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get past that kind of critical mass point, what can Copenhagen Wolves do? And it's very quickly reaching that scenario where you can land your whole combo, but I mean, Soaz is going to mitigate a lot of that by himself.
I mean, we're on it. Whoa.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, the performance in game 1 and 2 kind of leads us to this. And we heard what I believe it was Morsu talked about coming into this, was they didn't mind that they only had 3 or 4% of the vote last time they played Origin. This time, it's not only the vote that's against their favor, it's the fact that Peke has 5 kills right now.
There's the death mark. Where's the follow-up? Morsu trying to respond with the damage. He's still dropping low, but not quite. Oh, okay, he's dead. Yeah,
so I wanted in on that, but
yeah, giving the assist. No. Xpeke wants it all to himself. 6-0-1. Screw your kill participation. He's just going to murder everyone. This is just Peke on form, man. Like, he's looked so strong through the round robin, but now that he's on stage, he just turns it up just another notch.
And there was that question, is can he balance managing the team? Can he do everything behind the scenes and still be on his top form? The answer seems to be yes.
So far, yes.
I mean, a lot of this has been the Wolves making their fair share of mistakes, but I don't want to take anything away from Peke because he is playing exactly how he needs to exploit this Wolves team, and he seems to be back on form.
A master juggler indeed. Well, let's see if he can continue to do that. If he does indeed make the LCS, he is only 1 game away from doing so. And this game, by all rights, should be Origin's game unless Copenhagen Wolves pull something crazy out of the bag. It is the split pushing Peke against currently no one. No one is trying to defend him.
He's on the inhib turret already. I mean, who can stop him? And the thing is, Wolves can't even try these little pushes across the map where they're trying to get a turret in response because they just aren't strong enough right now. Any 2 people from Origin can just blow up the Wolves unless Peke is this low. That's a little problematic.
He just finds Soaz, though he may be the sacrificial tree, but look at the damage from Coscu. Comes out with the death mark. Is it enough to pop him? Ooh. He does eventually get the shutdown, and he doesn't land any more skills to amplify that damage. Meanwhile, in the mid game, Amazing is shoving away the fat man in the form of Gragas, and does get the better of him for now, but they finally get the shutdown onto Peke.
That was some cojones from Origen's Xpeke.
Hey, nailed it.
Going, hey, I've been saving it. I didn't want to butcher it like 2 or 3 times. I said I'll go for 1. But that was some cojones mid lane, though.
Amazing's going to go for 1. It goes right up with the triple knockup. Amazing is dropping low visibility with the jump out of the way as well. Should be able to take him out. Soaz gets knocked back by Hybrid, zoning Cow on duty. Now Miffy is looking for the lockdown. There's the staggering blow, but now Niels has joined the fight. And goodbye, Cow.
Goodbye, Cow.
We only just
Good night, Cow.
Yeah.
It sounds
too soon. 1-for-1 trade there, so better than the previous trades, but not by much. We're going to take a look at that mid trade again.
So the setup from this as Morsu goes in, I mean, it's a great knockup onto Amazing, but there's not really a lot that can follow it from the Wolves. Amazing is still alive in this fight. The damage reduction coming out from Soaz on the rest of the team is so good, and Wolves looked like they had the lead here, and Soaz goes back into the fight. You can see this fight doesn't even have Coscu in for Wolves, so they're just fighting for the sake of fighting right now, hoping they can get any kind of advantage from it.
Well, who can blame them? That's kind of their only play right now. Try and catch Origen off guard. I mean, they took down XPeke, so they knew he wasn't going to penta them by himself, so that was pretty much the best opportunity they were going to get for a long while. Copenhagen Wolves, 18 minutes into the game, looking not too good, honestly. 2 minutes on the clock for the third Dragon for Origen if they do manage to take it. 1 minute 40 on the Baron. It will be the 20-minute Baron, but Origen are getting so far ahead, they might even take it.
So far ahead, and the fact of the matter is, XPeke right now has himself a finished Ravenous Hydra and the Ghost Blade on top of that. That's basically saying to Morsu, I know you like split pushing, but deal with me right now, because I'm going to split push my heart out, and I'm going to split push our way into the LCS.
Well, look at the problem now for Copenhagen Wolves. Morsu can split push, but they either send Soaz, they send Peke.
I mean, Morsu can't split push. He's not strong enough, like, at all in this game. The only chance the Wolves have is to fight. And fighting head-on is suicidal into this kind of composition with this kind of lead, but Wolves, they're going to try.
To force it. There's the ultimate coming through from Soaz. He's bursting down very quickly. This is quickly turned into a 5 versus 4, but Niels is on the back lines. There's a shockwave only onto 1. Peke has arrived. How much damage can he do? Comes in with the death mark. There's 1. Looking for a second. Cairo will be flashing away. They look for the next one onto Hybrid. He goes down. Cairo ticking out from the Ignite. Amazing over the wall. Peke just forward.
Triple.
He gets his triple. Looking for facility. Can he get over into this one? They have the vision. They're cut off from the rest of their base. They are looking to chase him down. As the Hunter one lands, there's the next one. Peke trying to get in range. He gets bursted down by facility. But Niels with the last Acid Hunter. Let's play dodgeball. He gets 1. Oh, it locks on. That's cheating. Picks up the kill. 5-4-2. Goes over to Origen.
A little bit of cheating from the Queen of the Zesai there with the tremor sense. But that was about as good a fight as the Wolves would have liked to begin this. Soaz goes in on his own, gets blown up before Peke was anywhere near the fight. This was a great start. The problem here is the Wolves are against so much crowd control. Shockwave hitting on Niels is great, but it's Peke coming into this fight that really sets the tail here. You can see he already gets himself a triple. I was thinking it may have been Penta City here for Peke, but didn't get the shadow up over the wall in time, so it was pretty cut and dry here for Copenhagen Wolves Academy to stay in this. But look how much damage Niels has right now, and just everything has gone the way of Origen. A little bit of whack-a-mole. Nope, couldn't get it. There we go. There's the cheat codes coming in.
I hate to be in gym class playing dodgeball against that. homing dodgeballs, no thank you.
Now I can just League of Legends dodgeball.
Yeah, make it happen.
Ship it, somebody.
Ship it.
It's all good.
But 19-8 stress. This is not a good game for Copenhagen Wolves Academy. No. XPeke, as soon as he entered that team fight, it was like, well, here comes death. Someone's going to die, and it was basically everyone from the Wolves. Even in a straight-on scenario, in a team fight, they just didn't have the damage. The one saving grace is perhaps Facility. Morsu drops low. It's not quite enough damage to kill him in one pop. But even so, he's low enough where he has to go back to base. Facility, yes, he's 5-1-2, but with a Fed Z on the enemy team, that's just an 80 carries worst nightmare.
Absolutely. There is almost nothing anybody from the Wolves can do when Peke appears. And that's problematic, because Zed at this point, this time they don't even have this massive scaling composition. They have an Oriana, which is going to do well late game, but that's about it. You're, again, banking on a wombo combo. And a Zed this powerful, this early into the game, is almost unstoppable. And Copenhagen Wolves Academy look like they're gearing up for another last-ditch attempt at a team fight. Yasuo isn't there with them this time, so it wouldn't be a full fight. Soaz isn't there either, and Zed is now making his way up through the jungle. The Wolves may be boxed in, but a ward will tell them that Peke isn't quite behind them.
Yeah, Copenhagen Wolves are noping right out of mid lane. And Peke heads back into the bottom lane to continue the push. Morsu does have his teleport, but he has joined the rest of his team. That ward will see all 5 members in the middle lane as Origen are just going for the 1-3-1. Meanwhile, SOAS is heading into the fight from the left flank, trying to take the middle turret. They should be able to take this one away. Peke is still taking the base, however, in the bottom lane. It's going to take a little while for him to head up into this mid lane fight. But if Copenhagen Wolves get caught with their pants down, this could be almost one of the ending points of the game. SOAS comes in for the initiate. They're basically underneath this turret. Here comes the pedestrian reverse.
Great
Good
wombo.
shockwave. Big ultimate. Can with the last breath. Miffy pins down Hybrid underneath the turret, but he's fairly tanky. But here comes Peke. There's the shurikens raining through. There's one, there's two, there's three. There's the whole ace. As soon as Peke arrives, goodbye to the Wolves.
Goodbye to the Wolves, and hello, Origen have put one foot in the door for their shot at automatic promotion of the LCS. It would actually put them straight into the LCS a win here, and now they turn their attention to the Baron. That was about as good as Copenhagen Wolves were going to get. It was a fight without Peke to start this off, and you could see exactly how much connected. They've just hit a Triforce spike off Facility, and this shockwave was exactly what the Wolves want. They pull 3 in, deal the damage. Niels gets caught in this as well. But still, look how tanky Origen are at the end of their wombo combo, and it's all on the Wolves' damage that just can't get on the right target. SOAS is still alive. In comes Peke. See you, Wolves.
Yeah, they're just too tanky now. Even underneath that turret, had they been away from the turret, they might have been able to clean up, but Origen still in that type of scenario where Niels is going to be tanky, even with his hyperkinetic position reverser underneath the turret. They are so itemized at their points in the game as well. Copenhagen Wolves, that was a good fight for them, but it literally has to be a 5-man shockwave, 5-man ultimate from Morsu. Like, everything has to hit everyone. Even the phosphorus bomb has to hit 5 people. And even then, it's going to be a stretch to win a team fight. This is the 3rd dragon onto the team. Morsu is looking to get assassinated. That will not be enough. It will
Yes,
be
it will.
Wow, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Peke now onto the Kyrie as well.
Kill.
With the flash, the 1-on-2 kill. Peke is out of control.
Absolutely unstoppable. 13-2-4. It's not done yet because the rest of Origen have just caught Wolves sleeping.
Yeah, CosQ with the ultimate. Oh, we got the minions. Now in comes Miffy. We'll be following on to CosQ, but just a stray tree from the left-hand side. Who let him into this party? Well, Copenhagen Wolves certainly didn't. Here comes Hybrid into the fight. He's got the unbreakable will, but what's he gonna do? He's only a cow. And 1-on-4, he can't do anything at all. 4-for-0, middle turret goes down. This is gonna be an inhibitor turret, if not the inhib itself.
The death timers are so low that Morsu and Kyrie are already back here. And I don't even think they can stop this because bottom lane, Peke's pushing in as well. Baron up minions are hitting the middle inhibitor as well. Bottom lane.
Well, Peke heading into this fight. The front liner's there for him to sweep everyone up. Kyrie is tanky, but he's not tanky to escape the wrath of Peke. Facility returns fire with his rockets, but again, they've lost Morsu, one of the major components of their team. Hybrid with the combo onto Peke. There's the death mark onto Kyrie. They do manage to take him out. So this could be giving them a little bit of breathing room for the next couple of minutes. Maybe the rest of the team is just too strong though. SOAS just teleport in from base. Kyrie.
Can't do anything. They cannot do anything against SOAS. He's too tanky right now. Level 15 already has 3 items completed with distortion boots as well. They just do not have the damage to chunk through the tree.
Yeah, pretty much. They need Lumberjack Scion in this game to take that guy out. But 29 kills to 10. I don't think anyone can say this hasn't been a bloodthirsty game. 39 kills in 26 minutes. Origen have been taking it to Copenhagen Wolves Academy. This is as convincing as they've looked in the last couple of weeks, honestly. And here comes a dragon as well. SOAS is there already. Has been warded by Copenhagen, but whether they can contest it is another story entirely. And this is the 4th dragon. This will be another way for Origen to win. The 5 dragons is almost impossible to come back from, especially in this game. But Copenhagen Wolves, they do push out. They do try and contest. This could be the end of the road.
Could very well be the end of the road. 2 inhibitors down. Super minions will start pushing in, and nobody really from the Copenhagen Wolves Academy team can sit in that base because they need everybody there for their wombo combo. They're going to go for it. It's one last chance for the Wolves.
Oh, they can't go for SOAS, though. He's not a target they can instantly blow up. But Origen pay respects to the Wolves. They back off away from the dragon here. You can take this consolation prize. But Peke is in the top lane, and someone is going to have to get sacrificed to him.
Yeah, Amazing is going to try and stop the recall. So is SOAS. It's all about buying time here. here. Righteous Glory popped. Zoaz goes 1 versus 4.
Oh, Kyrie jumps in with the body slam, doesn't connect it. Meanwhile, Niels is off to the side, just poking down the retreating Copenhagen Wolves Academy. All they need to do is stop the recalls because Peke is taking the base. This is a battle against time. They're up against the clock. Oh, big knockup from the ultimate in from Nautilus. Meanwhile, Cosq is getting melted and Visility is down. All of those kills. Oh, Peke is on the base. It doesn't matter though because everyone is dying. 4 versus 5.
It's his
Origen are
namesake.
winning. Peke is Peking the Nexus. This will be going down here, Stress. And Origen, welcome to the LCS because you've just dominated this series. You've taken the first place in the spring split of the Challenger Series. Congratulations. And look at the faces from Origen, and who can take anything away from them? 3-0. That is as convincing as it gets. And they are now in the LCS. This is a strong team and a strong contender for the summer split.
A great performance out of, very experienced players and just solid throughout the entire series. All 3 games, they got ahead, they stayed ahead, and that was a crushing performance here out of Origen.